So, hi, I'm Tom Evans, and I'm delighted today to be speaking with Fawn Christian in her wonderful garden. We might see the odd deer going past. I think I've seen a peacock and some babies and this sort of stuff. So, how are you, Fawn?
I'm spectacular, Tom. How are you?
Good stuff. Yeah, well, great. Well, it's evening for me over here. It's morning for you, and it looks like a splendid morning out on the Pacific coast. Yeah.
That's correct. I have to say, I love this life. It's gorgeous.
So interesting then that we're having this conversation today, but it's not just a conversation between me and you. It's a conversation with me, directed by my guides, and then with answers coming from the Council of the Light, whose representative, and we'll talk about how this representative is formed, because it's not just an individual, it's like a synthesis called David, will be answering questions. So first of all, must ask, is David there and propped up by the Council of Light behind him?
Yes, yes.
Wonderful.
David is here in the full light that he represents.
So we've been talking about channeling for a few months, and you've been writing some wonderful words. And it's been proposed to us that we ought to broadcast some of these in the form of these videos, stroke audios. And you and I have been discussing how we channel differently. So I don't have a conscious knowledge of who or what I'm channeling, but stuff comes through me, and I know it's not me. I haven't got that knowledge, so it must be coming from somewhere. And I just let the process unfold, and that's where my books come from, my meditations. And one of the joys about this is that you get this information in next to no time at all. And the other strange thing is that because you're in trance when it comes in, you often can't remember it. I have to go back and read my own books and listen to my own meditations to remember what comes in. So these records are really, really useful. You, however, have a completely different way from me of bringing this information in. Do you want to just share how that works with you?
How? Sure. What has happened for me, Tom, is this. It was a experience at one point in my life, a number of years back, where in a meditation there was this entire golden light that I basically rode upon and moved into other realms with as they opened the doors. And as I came back down into my body, they sent this pillar of golden light and told me that his name is David, and he represents the entire Council of Light from these many higher dimensions. And what David shows me when there's coming through is that it is similar in that I'm not really involved as Fawn. I'm literally seeing myself at the bistro table having my cup of tea as I watch this golden pillar of light reflect to whoever's asking where their alignment in their own soul is, and just simply reflect back to them this coming into that full alignment in their own soul. That's how it works through me.
Wonderful. Can I ask? David's obviously present in this conversation. Could I ask David his purpose and aims? What he would like to come from this interaction with Fawn?
Yes. First of all, to simply be validating that Fawn chose the right thing by having this lifetime and showing up as a healer in all of the delightful, grounded, worldly, physical ways that she is. Second of all, there is an entire shift happening that on the planet, on the evolution of consciousness. And we as the Council of Light in this channel of David through Fawn are here to be activating that in a very real large sense on the planet.
So if somebody wants to join this movement and be activated, so to speak, what's the best way of them to go about it?
The first step we want to say is simply trust in those ways that you get your own spark. It literally can register as a spark in one of your senses where you become alive, whether it's your imagination, whether it's your physicality in feeling fantastic, whether it's in actually the cognitive thinking, and there's connections that come for solutions. All of this is that evolution of this consciousness in light. So our first step with that, when we're saying trust the spark,
Interesting.
is for each person to realize it's coming through in light, and they get that spark in their own unique way.
So, Fawn and I spoke 2 weeks ago on this subject. It was the first time that Fawn mentioned the Council of Light and David to me, and we're now going to. I hope this is going to be a bi-weekly thing that we do when we have this conversation. And I'm fairly lucky in general in life, but since Fawn mentioned the Council of Light to me, I've had the most amazingly lucky 2 weeks. And what I've done is every time a spark of luck has come along, I've gone, oh, that must be the Council of Light working with me and on my behalf. And so is that it? Is it as simple as that? It's just recognising the Council of Light as this thing, imaginary or real, and it kicks off in you.
What we really love is that expression you use. Oh, it's the Council of Light on my behalf.
Mm-hmm.
That is why we are here. That is what we are doing, is letting you realize you have it. It's letting you trust that more and more and more. So what you call luck, we would call that spark of light, and it is yours. And we come through to give you the validation that it's there.
Right, so anyone watching this video or listening to the audio, we do an audio version, all they've got to do then is just be open to the concept that there's higher dimensional intelligence and consciousness in operation. And then when something happens in a very serendipitously nice way, say thank you and acknowledge it, and then more pops in. Is it as simple as that?
The acknowledgement is really key.
Wow.
It really is that simple. And the acknowledgement and the allowing.
Yeah.
So once you acknowledge, you see, what we are really hoping, what we are really seeing is happening now, is that you can take what is here in these many dimensions and literally access that power and trust it in your unique way. It is about acknowledging it and then allowing it to continue.
And just to a certain extent then, there might be people watching this video that think this is a load of bunkum, but it doesn't matter if it's real or imaginary if there's a positive outcome from it, does it?
We don't really care what anybody thinks about it, labels it.
Yeah.
We are here. We are literally here to simply validate that spark, for you to trust the spark. And we are coming through this vehicle of Fawn because we see her as this channel that has a pure heart, that will make people feel safe in their evolution of trusting the spark. You see, that is what allows this evolution to happen, is through the trust and this container where people are feeling safe. and that is the best word that we can use. We do not pretend to be in the therapeutic world. We are talking literally stream of golden consciousness here for all of you. And Fawn is you being the vehicle to create that trustworthy, validating, safe container in our reflection to you of the spark that is already you.
Wonderful. So, through my, whoever's pulling my strings and giving me information, and Paul and I have not rehearsed this at all, I have this lovely daily missive called Just for Today, and we're going to put this video up in the Just for Today forum, initially in Facebook, in a closed group. I want to try something out. And Paul and I are going to have this conversation at least once every 2 weeks. And how about if we get the people in the Just for Today forum to ask questions that I can ask the channel on their behalf? How would that be? And this together we pull ourselves up with our bootstraps.
Yes, absolutely. That is what we delight in, you see, because as you ask the question, we are here already reflecting that light back to you, allowing you to receive the transmission of the reflection so that your own soul comes into its alignment within your body, your mind, your emotions, your beautiful vehicle. So ask away, because we love to validate.
Lovely. Well, I've got a question, which is very simply, can I just do a very swift, guided technique that people can do to induce the trust, to bring the trust on, which will allow then the Council of Light to work on people's behalf. And it's very simply, it comes from my trainings with the Cryon School in Germany and the mantra Monar Ohar, which means I trust in the light language, the language of the Elohim. And so this is in many of my meditations, people might have heard. I say that I sometimes use an English language mantra, which is be calm, but the mantra Monar Ohar is very simple. You just hold your thumb and your middle finger together, and on the in-breath you can either say it internally or externally. You say the word Monar, and on the out-breath you say the word Ohar. And if you repeat that 4 or 5 times each morning before you start the day, it kicks you off in trust, and then everything that's going to unfold in that day will just be the most perfect thing for you at that time. Simple as that.
Yes, we love you giving this direction, and our only addition is you can also stop during your day and practice this.
Yeah. I would agree, and it's nice to have that sort of meditation, not just being 10 minutes in the morning, but any point during the day. You need a breather. You trust in the process.
And you're saying it can be 2 minutes.
Yeah. Because time doesn't really matter, does it? It's as long as it wants to be, really.
Yes.
Great.
Yes.
Well, listen, we're just coming up to in Earth minutes to 14 or so minutes, and I like these videos to be quite short. I think making them short and sweet is the right thing to do. We'll come back online and in a couple of weeks' time. Hopefully by then we'll have some questions for David and the Council, and we'll see where this takes us.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you.
We look forward.